Welcome to DU Digimon.
Hello and welcome to DU Digimon, and welcome to a deck profile and a gameplay showcase all in one video, because why the hell not? If you're liking this sort of content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell if you would please, so you're not missing out on any of our uploads. Would massively appreciate it. I'm going to solidify it and say it right now here on video. I want to try and get us to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and make it happen. We've got 3 months, 4 months. We have time left to go until the end of the year. Let's try and get to 500 by the end of the year. Let's see if we can do it. Anyways, this is my profile for MirageGaogamon after we've had the BT17 things. A lot of it has not changed since BT16, but enough of it has changed. I thought maybe we would go over it. So, let's get into the profile. So first, starting with our eggs, we've got the one copy of the Digimon, of course, that is still limited. Gives us that jamming and just is all around one of the best blue eggs ever. Then we've also got 4 of the Yokomon. Now, I used to go for the Wanyamon for the draw power, but actually I really like Yokomon in this, purely for the fact that we can use it to put stuff underneath us when we're making our move. This can help us give us jamming. This can help us with gaining our memory. It's just really good. So, especially now with the eggs that we have got, I just really like this. Next, we go for our rookies. We've got 4 copies of Gaomon. Still one of the best rookies we have access to. Helps us draw cards when we're playing them out, and it fills the opponent's hand too. And also has that pivotal, when in fact adds cards to your opponent's hand, gain 1 memory, which is really nice. We've then got 3 copies of the Biomon from EX6. I kind of prefer this to the Betamon in my particular build, because I'm not using Huankunmon. If you are using Huankunmon, Betamon probably is the better one to go for, because you can play it out and do some stunning. But for this deck, for my purposes, I prefer the Biomon just as a surprise blocker that we can have access to. Also has that jamming inheritable, which the Betamon also has. Then the new inclusion, you've got 4 copies of the new BT17 Labramon. Now this card is fantastic. You can place on play by placing 1 Seesamon or a level 3 blue Digimon underneath it. Essentially, you get to draw 1 card, which is good. It helps us with our consistency. More importantly, though, when attacking inheritable, if this Digimon has jamming, gain 1 memory. We pretty much always have jamming in this deck, so we're gaining a memory whenever we're attacking, which helps us further our plays and get the OTK. Next up, from BT17, we've got 2 copies of the Seesamon. I was tempted to put more of this in here, but it didn't really kind of jump out to me as something to do, but it is still a cool card to talk about. So by placing 1 level 3 blue Digimon card from from your hand as this Digimon bottom Digivolution card, 1 of your Digimon gains jamming. So we have the ability to gain the jamming if we don't have it as the inheritable. Saying that, in a staggering design choice, Seesamon also has the inheritable of jamming. Work that out. At least we can give jamming to another Digimon, though, if they're on field, whilst also retaining the jamming for ourselves, though. So that is still pretty nice. Next, we've got the EX4 Gaogamon. This is 3 copies of this one. Return 1 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. Nice and simple. Can get rid of some key floodgates. Pretty nice. And then it also has that same inheritable as the EX4 Gaomon, adding a memory to the hand whenever something adding a memory when something is added to the hand. Apparently my brain is fried today. Then we've also got the BT16 Gaogamon, which I'm still preferring more than, say, something like the Seesamon, but it is great. 3 copies of this one. Both players draw a card when digivolving. If they have 8 or more, you gain a memory. Fantastic. And then has that jamming inheritable. So we have lots of jamming in this deck. The Bukamon, the Biomon, the Seesamon, the Gaogamon. We have 4 different things that give us jamming in this deck, which is absolutely fantastic. Then, as our last level 4, we've got 1 copy of the Lanamon, just as a backup win condition. I know some people were playing around with playing stuff like, I think it's Korikakumon, the one with 6000 DP, just in case you've got people with Shangreimon Ruin mode. But now that Numamon is going to be less in the meta, I would think we're going to experience that card less. I mean, it could be still appearing like in Shine Greymon, but from what I've been seeing, most people are not playing Ruin mode in Shine Greymon, despite the fact it's really good. So, you know, this still really works. It also gives us that jamming. also allows us to potentially make a new stack if our board has been cleared and we only have Tamers out. It's just a really good card. Absolutely love Lanamon. Also can put a level 3 underneath it to gain more inheritables, which is great. Then going into the level 5s, we've got the one copy of MirageGaogamon from EX4. This is still limited. Return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. When attacking inheritable, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, unsuspend this Digimon. Really good stuff. Then we've got 3 copies of the MirageGaogamon from BT17. This guy is pivotal in certain matchups, for example, going up against Blue Armor, where they have really large blockers. When attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, for the turn, this Digimon's attack target cannot be switched, which is really good. And then when the effect adds cards to your opponent's hand, unsuspend this Digimon, which works in a really good combination with your BT11 MirageGaogamon, because you attack him with this, you become unblockable, you Digivolve into the MirageGaogamon, bounce something to hand, unsuspend, so you can do the whole thing again. Great. Then we've also got 3 copies of the Zudomon from BT14. Still one of the best ace cards we possibly have. And against certain decks can be really deadly. Trashes 2 Digivolution cards from one of your opponent's Digimon. And then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the hand. With ace cards running rampant, if your opponent leaves something with a small stack out, you can use this, gain memory. It's just great. Then going into level 6s, the star of the show, BT11 MirageGaogamon. This man dodged a bullet with the ban list. He's still here. Will he be here by the next ban list? We don't know yet. But my thinking, if Mirage is still meta relevant by then, no. I don't think so, because this card is cracked, and it's only gotten better since it came out in BT11. When Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the owner's hand. If it doesn't return anything by this effect, you bounce the top of the opponent's security instead, which is bonkers. Then, when an effect adds cards to your opponent's hand, gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand, and that's all turns, which is what makes this card so deadly, because it stops your opponent from being able to search stuff, being able to add cards to their hand by anything. It changes how they play the game, which is why this card is so hated. Next, we've got 1 copy of the MirageGaogamon from BT13. I'm still liking this card, especially because there are a few more decks that like having Tamers at the moment, so I'm enjoying this. It's got Evade, which does come up. People will try and delete it or bounce, delete it. Bouncing it will still, you can't evade bouncing, but people will try and delete this, and then they can't. When Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Tamers to the hand, and when it does bounce something to the hand, again, all turns this one, you may play a Thomas from your hand without paying the cost, which is awesome. Then we've got 3 copies of the Burst Mode. This dude is our main win condition. Return one of your opponent's Digimon to the hand, then gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. Really, really good. Then the when attacking, which is not once per turn, if your opponent has 9 or more cards in their hand, you may put cards back into their deck at the bottom of their deck until they have 8 remaining and unsuspend, which is incredibly dirty. It's so dirty. It's a really super dirty combo, especially because we've got ways of adding cards to the opponent's hand. So, really, really good. Speaking of that, got 3 copies of the Memory Thomas for the BT13 one, so sets you to 3, really good. And then when one of your Digimon with Galmon or Gaogamon in its name attacks, by suspending this Tamer, both players draw 1 card from their decks. So this works in combination with the Burst Mode. Excuse me, hiccup. To ensure that you are going to be able to do the when attacking effect again, which is really good. Then we've got 2 copies of the Thomas from BT4. I used to play this at 3 copies. I've gone down to 2, just because I'm preferring this one in the combo to this one, but this one at 2 still works really well to help us out. On play, draw a card. Really good. And then if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, you may suspend this Tamer to unsuspend one of your Digimon with Gao in its name. Really good card despite its age. Then we go into the options. We've got Full Metal Blaze. Return 2 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to their owner's hand. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. Really nice card. Great for that kind of wider removal. Then there's Full Moon Meteor Impact. Return one of your opponent's Digimon to the hand, then gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. So really good. You play it for 8, and then all of a sudden, it didn't actually cost you 8. which is really nice. Then the other options are 4 copies of Blue Memory Boost, 4 copies of Mental Training, purely to help us searching things out, gain us memory, reduce Digivolution costs. Just be careful of using this one in the Imperial matchup, but both of them will really help us with our consistency. But that is the deck. Let's now jump into a match, and we'll see if we can show this deck off. Right, so here we are, jumping into a match against GG's. So hopefully it'll be a good game. Do we keep this hand? I think we do. I think this is a decent hand. So we are going to let them choose their mulligan, of course. There we go. We are then going to hatch over here into Yokomon. We'll go 0 into this Gaomon. And then we shall simply go 3 into Blue Memory Boost because we need to get some searching because we are missing some key components from our hand. We don't need the burst mode, we've already got one in hand, so let's take a MirageGaogamon, which is unfortunate. We kind of need some level 4s, we need the level 6 as well, so hopefully we'll be able to draw into it. Let's see what we are up against though. So we've got the suspense is killing me. There you go. It's a Demi-Meramon. So what could this be? It could be as a Gazimon. Okay, that's pretty tough because that stops us from gaining memory. It looks like it's Dark Masters. Okay, that's cool. So we've got a Dark Masters player. So this should be an interesting matchup. We do get to do a lot of balancing shenanigans against this. So we might be pretty cool. Obviously, they can't delete this to kind of do their shenanigans here. That's not great. We didn't want to be Amon. So what we're going to do is we will simply go into Thomas. Just to give us a memory tamer, leave them at 1 as well. So let's see what they're going to do. They're probably going to move out that Gazimon, I would think. Yeah. Stops us from gaining the memory. End of the turn, they can use their Lady Devimon to put a Dark Masters into their breeding area. Or they could just attack. I mean, it survived, so that worked out quite well for them. I would say so. And then in goes Gazimon as well. There's one of my level 4s. So you get to draw here by trashing a level 5 or higher. Off that goes. And then is it end of this turn? Yeah, end of this turn they'll be able to delete this to get a Dark Masters into the breeding area. Which they just trashed a 1 actually, so, and leaving us on 5. Oh god, they're adding Death X and MirageGaogamon. That's scary. Okay. So we've now got the MirageGaogamon to worry about. Okay, Mirage, that's decent. We need stuff though. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to push up this Gaomon, as dangerous as that could be. We're then going to go and swing into security with it. We are not going to use this because I don't want to waste this Biomon. What we are going to do is do this just to give us an extra draw. There you go, that's decent. We've got a searcher. So they'll probably go into some sort of ace, I would think. Because Megazoo likes to do that a lot. Yeah, there you go. It's going into Grand Kawagamon. Now that is going to kill our Tamer though. So that is not great. We kind of needed that Tamer. Now we could have also got the jamming as well there, but not going to happen. Let's go. We can't even use the Blue Memory Boost actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into Zudomon Ace. Bounce this to hand. So we'll strip this from underneath. Bounce that. Takes us back to 5. We're then going to use the Blue Memory Boost to see what we can get. Seesawmon, that will do as a level 4. Unfortunately, we are putting 2 of our Tamers to the bottom, so that's not ideal. But we'll see what we can do. Then the other thing to do would be potentially to go into the Mirage, but it'll just get de-digivolved by this MirageGaogamon. So what do we want to do? I don't want to play this Biomon because we need it in the racing. So let's go. Do you know what? I think we save these. And And we'll save the Zudamon Ace as removal. I think we just passed turn. We just passed turn here. I think that's probably the safest thing to do. Passive thing to do, granted, but safest thing to do. If this dies, they'll gain the overflow. That's okay. Out comes Cherrymon. So obviously if they do the deletion on this, they won't do the opponent's turn effect of that. Well, actually they would, because they hard play that, don't they? Yeah. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to hatch. We've got Yokomon. We're going to go 0 into Biomon, like so. Then, let's leave them on 1. We're going to go into another Zudamon Ace and bounce this Machine Dramon so they can't get that end of opponent's turn effect. No, it's not looking great because we've not got much security, but we do have the upper hand. It doesn't look like it, but we do. Only thing that we have got going against us is the fact that we don't have any tamers out, which is a bother. Out comes Machine Dramon. And they're going to add that MirageGaogamon Ace, which is going to be a problem because that can go on top of either of these. I would think they're going to add the MirageGaogamon Ace. Yeah, there you go. MirageGaogamon Ace and Imperial Dramon Ace. So basically, before we make a move, we need to try and bounce both of these, which is going to be pretty tough. Oh no, we're only going to need to bounce this. Okay. Right. I think we're going to try and go for it. So we're going to push up with this Biomon. We shall go Mental Training to go into here. We're going to go into our Seesawmon. Double jamming. Why not? When digivolving of this, one blue level 3 card from your hand. This is what the division card. When Digimon gains jamming, so we will do that. And we will place this underneath. Give jamming to one of our Zudamon. And then going to go mental again. Go here. Into our Mac. Then, as much as I would like to attack with this, they will stop us from being able to kind of go ham with this. So, I think we're going to go... let's save the blue memory boost for the minute. I'm going to go into Mirage over here. Bounce this to hand, so they can't ace us. Then we're going to gain a memory. Gain more memory. And then we have to use the unsuspend, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Then we're going to make sure we're not passing turn, we're going to do this, because we can't actually burst evolve, because we don't have our tamer. So we're going to go into burst mode. And then we are going to go for it. So let's go in with this. We're not going to bother with the Yokomon because we've got nothing to do that with. Let's just go select 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're as good as any. Off those go. We are not going to use that. Then we're going to go in again. then I'm going to go in with this one because we've got the jamming. Didn't even need it. Now I'm tempted to go in with this one. I might actually. I can kind of afford the overflow here. So Joel, we're going to go for it. Screw it. That's fine. That's fine. Because we can then go 2 into mental training. Leave them on 1. And we're going to add the Mirage to hand. So annoyingly, we probably could have gone into that Mirage. But, you know, we wouldn't have gained memory. Would have been a bit safer, maybe. But obviously I didn't know that Mirage was coming up. So if I'd had foresight, maybe I could have searched this first. Like, gone blue memory boost, searched with this, got that Mirage, bounced their last security instead of sacrificing one of my dudes. But that's okay. They de-digivolved that twice. We're on 0. They're on 0. This is a pretty tight game. Now, can they ace on top of a Machine Dramon? I don't think they can. Because the only stuff that could ace on that would have to be level 7. Oh, they've got a Pokemon. Okay. Does that game rush? Oh, it's a cross, isn't it? So it's probably... I think they've got game. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oh, no. It doesn't have rush. But it will... Does it delete one of my dudes? Okay. Oh, there you go. they've surrendered by the looks of it. So yeah, they didn't have a way to win there. That was incredibly close. But I think we are going to call it there. That's the one match we're going to show here. So that was a very close match between those two decks. But obviously you can see kind of what was going on, even under the less kind of favourable scenarios for that deck. But we will leave it there just because this is a fusion of profile and showcase, so we're not going to do 3 matches for this one. Just the one will do, just to keep the video a little bit shorter. So if you are liking this sort of content, please make sure to like, subscribe and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on any of the latest content. Help us get to 500 subscribers by the end of this year, and let us know in the comments below if you like this sort of kind of deck profile with gameplay kind of format. Even if we're doing this kind of filming the profiles in person, we might be able to slap this kind of gameplay showcase on at the end. So let us know in the comments below. But until we see you next time, keep it digital.